Hello everybody, Simulation for the Nation here. Welcome to another Farming Simulator 22 review. In today's video, we'll be having the Factsheets review, a detailed look at some of the new features, a new brand, some potential new brands coming in off the back of that brand, and of course, the next round of the head-to-head championships. So let's go. So Factsheet Fridays were announced at Gamescom last week as coming back early September, and Giants were not wrong. It is the 2nd of September and they're back already. Of course, we saw them arrive here on Wednesday with a little bit of a blog post about the new Factsheets and where they're going to arrive and what that would look like. And so that's nothing really new to report here. However, we are going to have a look into the initial Factsheets that did join us on Wednesday as part of the blog post. There were 4, nothing really new, just a lot of machines that we'd seen already, but a few little spoilers there. Today's Factsheets are very revealing in my opinion there, and there's a little bit more than meets the eye, but we're going to get to discuss that later on. Let's first start with the 4 that arrived on Wednesday. Up first is the Conveyor 900, a tractor that we've known coming for a while there, so this was no surprise. But what was pleasant was the Valstad Rapid 800S on the back there. Great to see this drill's back, but also looking refreshed there. Those hoses are looking really neat in my opinion. However, what is curious to me on this fact sheet and across the board there for all of the new trends really, we're mentioning weight on here a lot. Now weight is going to be mentioned across the board for all of the new fact sheets. Curious to see if that has any implication as we move on down the line, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up, the all-new Class Trion 750 with the Conveyor Flex 1080 header. A new addition to the Class Combine range, sure looks impressive. This model is fantastic, and the in-game price is there to match it at $357,000 pounds or euros. We're moving on to one of the first big surprises for Farming Simulator 22, the Mack Truck, an American classic, and what a machine it is. I cannot wait to hear what this is like in game. Those gearbox sounds are going to be truly epic. If you do order Farming Simulator 22 through Amazon, I do believe you're even going to get access to a really cool color scheme as well, which is all like a jet black, which looks really impressive. And finally, for the first round of Factsheets, we have some material bags by K&I. Now, initially, this may not appear to be too inspiring, but as I start thinking about it, many questions start to appear. Such as, we can see that there are separate types for solid and liquid fertilizer, which is great. And may I also add, this is the first time that we've actually seen bags as a default in game. There's usually those metal frames with the boxes inside there, so that's fantastic to see. But I'm also curious to know, will this become more crucial as we dive into Farming Simulator 22, especially when you factor in precision farming when that comes into play. Furthermore, are we going to need a specific fertilizer or herbicide for a specific crop type to make it grow at a special time of year? All these questions we need to get answers to. Alright, now we move on to the latest round of Factsheets here that we're dropping today, September the 3rd, and we're really getting into the depths of it now, which is very exciting. So up first, a tractor brand that we knew was always going to be coming back to Farming Simulator 22. Of course, we are looking at Class, the arrival in the Platinum DLC last year. It's great to see this tractor is returning. The Class Action 800 to 870 is with us today with a base horsepower of 205. This is a great medium-sized tractor, and I've always really loved the design features of the Action. Now on the rear, the Action is pulling a new cramper half pipe with a 12.3 ton capacity there, which is ideal for bulk transport. Next up was a real surprise actually, and this is a return of electric vehicles following the success of the Alpine extension for FS19. We're introducing the Farizin telehandler. It's pronounced like that somehow, I think. This is a 25 kilowatt fully electric telehandler, the first of its type in game. Now I am really intrigued about this. Looks like the battery will last for approximately 32 kilowatt hours, but I'm very interested to see how that holds up when you get into a full feed and a TMR and bedding up cattle in the morning or evening there. Really get it put to work. Love to see how it handles. We've also got a feeder wagon. This is another Farizin. This is the PF 2.24 Plus. Now, this is a pretty standard affair by the looks of things as far as forage wagons go, but what intrigues me about this factory is indeed the bale that has been loaded in. That certainly looks like a texture of silage, but the bale is unwrapped, something that you don't usually see in FS19, unless of course you're using the Anderson DLC, and the bale would normally just disappear in its wrapped state. So that poses the question. Do we need to unwrap the bale before we feed them? Is this simply just being used from the Anderson DLC there? Or what will we have to do to proceed with this? I really do hope that as part of the feeding up of cattle there, that there's a little bit more into it there, that you really have to kind of get involved a bit more. So we move on to the third fact sheet where, bang, we've got McCormick, just like that folks. The McCormick C7 VT drive is now in game, a tractor that I wasn't expecting, but perhaps should have been. We've already seen the Landini compact tractor in game as part of the orchard farming, so it comes as no surprise that the McCormick brand is now in the game as well, mainly because they're both owned by the same parent company, Argo Tractors, which also means there's potential to see at least one more brand of tractors coming into game today, Valpadana. Now Valpadana are specializing in smaller compact tractors, so again, pretty ideal for your vineyards there and your olive plantations as well. So maybe we'll see those coming through in fact sheets in the not too distant future. But I know everyone out there is thinking it, because I am as well. Does this mean that we can get to see some of the MTX McCormick classics coming through into the Farming Simulator 22? I sure as heck hope so. Elsewhere in this fact sheet, we also find the return of the Flegel slurry tanker. This is the PFW 18000 Max Line Plus, coming with a dribble bar at the working width of 15 meters. Handy little tool there with about 18,000 liters capacity, which is pretty cool. 18 cubic meters there. Now the final fact sheet for the day is more machinery that we've already seen in the build-up of the development of the game thus far, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. This is the Massey Ferguson 5S and the Elho Stone Picker, both brand new to Farming Simulator 22, with the Stone Picker adding some great new game functionality as well. We're not going to touch on this too much, but again, this fact sheet really does provide a nice little sneaky Easter egg there. Just check out that plow texture. We know that the parallax occlusion mapping is a thing in game there, and we know how that works, and we've seen some of the different examples of it. But yeah, look at that. Doesn't it look really, really good? I do really like that. Now, I'm curious to know if that was plowed straight over, or if that's been worked over or disked or subsoiled, or what texture that was. But a really great looking texture there. And I really do like to see more of that. It's a fantastic way to really kind of provide you that level of depth and detail without having to transform the entire game engine, which I'm all for. And it's also great to see another Massey in game. Let's not kill ourselves here. So that's it for the fact sheets this week, which has been fantastic. So look forward to seeing more next Friday. Please let me know in any comments down below which ones you have preferred the most and what you're excited about thus far. And finally, it's time for us to take a look at this week's head-to-head knockout championships for the tractors in FS22. But before we do that, last week's winner was the John Deere 9R. So that's going to go head-to-head with the Fendt 900 Vario. Which we've also seen in this week's fact sheets review, so it kind of comes full circle. But this week's contenders are going to be two from today's fact sheet reviews here. We're going to be looking at the first challenger. It's going to be the Class Action 800, and that is going to be pitting itself up against the McCormick X7 VT. So it's now up to you to vote. Don't forget, all you need to do is write either McCormick or Class in the comments below there. I'll do a tally up at the end and we'll let it all know at the next video. So until then, I hope you have enjoyed. Don't forget to make your vote count. Put it in the comments below there. Let me know any thoughts, feedback you may have about this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.